Incredible moment revealed, billionaire mother discovers her twin daughters after 6 hidden years. The sun dipped below the Golden Gate Bridge, casting a warm glow over San Francisco that shimmered on Jennifer Adams' office windows. The walls, lined with innovation awards and financial accolades, echoed her ascent to billionaire status. But beneath the surface of her success lay a truth buried deeper than the city's fog. 6 years, Jennifer whispered, her heart racing as she stumbled upon documents that shattered everything her twin daughters, Mia and Lila, had been adopted. The realization slashed through her like a knife. For too long, her relentless ambition had consumed her. The late-night meetings, the endless flights, the sacrifice of family dinners, all in the name of a better future for her daughters. And yet, there they were, living just miles away, blissfully unaware of their true lineage. The shock sent waves of confusion crashing over her. How could she have missed this monumental part of their lives? A touching moment flashed in her mind, their small, joyful faces as they played in the park. Those memories, once full of warmth, now felt like ghostly reminders of a past she thought was sacred. Angela, a single mother from a low-income neighborhood, had spent the last 6 years loving and nurturing her girls while Jennifer chased her empire. Jennifer's chest tightened. Was wealth the price of motherhood? The contrast between them was staggering. Angela's world was filled with community support and resilience, while Jennifer waded through elite social circles, where judgment lurked behind every designer dress. Tension simmered as both women eyed each other's lives. Angela vowed to protect her daughters from the chaos Jennifer's world threatened to unleash. Bonds formed among Angela's neighbors who admired her tenacity, while whispers of Jennifer's negligence haunted her among Silicon Valley's elite. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. As the legal battles heated and invasive media coverage took over, both women's fears intertwined with their desires. They stood on opposite sides of a courtroom, eyes filled with unspoken questions. Could wealth dictate the right to motherhood? Would love, in its purest form, rise above the societal biases that labeled them? Then came the fateful day, the gavel poised to fall in a crowded courtroom. A hush enveloped the room, heavy with anticipation. Jennifer felt the weight of her decisions crash over her. The moment hung suspended in time. As the judge prepared to rule, a stunning revelation about Mia sent gasps echoing through the air. And with it, came the question that would linger, haunting both women. Could two mothers from vastly different worlds ever bridge the gap that divided them? Or would their differences forge a legacy that tore them apart forever? The courtroom buzzed with tension, every eye fixated on the judge. Jennifer's heart pounded in her chest. She had never felt so exposed. Mia's fate felt locked in that moment, as heavy as the air around her. The revelation about Mia, a medical condition that needed urgent attention, echoed in her mind. It was as if the world around them had faded and left just the weight of this one truth. Angela's expression shifted from protective resolve to fear. Her children, her life, all that she had built hung in the balance. The whispers in the courtroom morphed, accusations and judgments flying like arrows. Could she really trust this woman who had walked away from her daughters? Jennifer's mind raced. She remembered the sleepless nights she'd spent driving herself to the top, chasing goals while her daughters had been out there, bright, beautiful, unaware. What do I do now, she thought, gripped by an almost paralyzing panic. Do I admit my failure? Or fight for them? But her thoughts were interrupted as the judge spoke. After careful consideration, I find in favor of. Jennifer leaned forward, holding her breath, desperation clawing at her throat. The children's well-being must come first. I will allow temporary custody to remain with Ms. Angela Summers. Gasps filled the room. Jennifer felt her heart sink. The decision was not what she expected, and it twisted deeper than any business deal gone wrong. Angela's eyes widened in disbelief. She was not prepared to fight a legal battle with someone like Jennifer, someone who had power and influence. But as her gaze shifted to the judge, she understood her daughters needed stability. And for now, that meant standing firm in the life they had known. When the court adjourned, monumental weight hung between the two mothers, their resentment and heartache palpable. They stood at the brink of a chasm filled with love, betrayal, and fear that extended far beyond their personal dilemmas. Back in the city, as fog settled over San Francisco, both women drove home, each grappling with their separate truths. Jennifer, faced with the ghost of motherhood she had thought secure, clung to her phone, staring at the picture of her girls on her screen. How could I approach them now? She thought. She envisioned Mia's bright eyes, Lila's laughter, the same laughter that had fueled her ambition for so long. Meanwhile, Angela wrapped her arms around Mia and Lila, who were already drifting into the world of dreams. "I'll always keep you safe," she promised as they nestled into their blankets. But her heart ached. Could she truly shield them forever from everything Jennifer represented? Days turned into weeks as the media storm continued. Jennifer found herself an unwilling participant in the saga, her impeccable reputation tarnishing under public scrutiny. Each article, each newscast, seemed to dig deeper into her past, exposing her neglect as if it were a mirror reflecting her shortcomings. Then came the day Angela received a letter. It arrived unannounced, with the court's seal stamped across the front. Her breath caught in her throat as she opened it, a request for a mediation meeting. Jennifer wanted to talk. What was she hoping for? Angela's fingers trembled with uncertainty. Was she ready to converse with the woman who had caused such upheaval in her life? Meanwhile, Jennifer prepared herself for the meeting, heart racing as she penned her thoughts. She longed to make things right, to speak from the depths of her wounded heart. But deep down, she wondered if Angela would even give her a chance to explain. As the day approached, doubt clouded Angela's mind. Can two mothers ever overcome their differences for the sake of their shared daughters? The clock ticked down, the moment of truth looming ahead. What would happen when they finally faced each other? The morning of the mediation meeting brought a heavy stillness to the air. Angela prepared herself meticulously, smoothing down her blouse, her fingers brushing over the fabric as if it could somehow shore up her confidence. She looked in the mirror, searching for the strength she felt had been slowly crumbling. Doubts crowded around her like tight shadows, whispering that she was stepping into dangerous waters. When she arrived at the neutral office, the tension nearly knocked the breath from her lungs. The stark white walls felt cold, devoid of warmth, antithetical to the love she felt for Mia and Lila. They were her heart, the reason she fought with every ounce of her being. But today, she was stepping into a world that felt so foreign, where decisions would be made that could change everything. Jennifer was already there, pacing slightly, a bundle of nerves wrapped in a designer suit. Her eyes flicked up, and for a moment, both women shared an understanding as they locked gazes. In that instant, the outside world faded. Time stretched, burdened with the weight of their pasts. Jennifer began, her voice breaking the fragile silence. It was as if the two mothers had been suspended in time, waiting for someone to speak the words that hovered between them. "Thank you for coming." Angela nodded, her heart pounding. "I'm here because I want to understand. Not just for me, but for the girls." Jennifer took a deep breath, her hands trembling slightly as they found their place on the table. "I know I've made mistakes. I thought I could build a career and still be a good mother, but I was so wrong. Mia's situation opened my eyes." Angela felt a flicker of empathy. This was not the cold, calculating businesswoman the media had portrayed. This was a mother, broken yet trying to patch the pieces back together. "You really think that one conversation will change everything?" "I want to try. I need you to know I care about them. I might have lost track, but I want to be better for them." The sincerity in Jennifer's voice was palpable, an urgent plea layered between her words. Angela remained guarded, uncertainty still clouding her judgment. "You walked away, Jennifer. They were just kids. What makes you think you can come back now?" Jennifer fought through the quiver in her voice. "I know it sounds selfish. But I believe that if you let me, I can be in their lives again. I want to get to know them, to make up for lost time. The raw vulnerability hanging in the room pressed against the walls. Angela could see the ghost of those lost years haunting Jennifer's eyes. Yet, her fierce protectiveness flared. What if they don't want to know you? They've built a life without you, Jennifer. The tension rose, both women wrestling with their truths, the reality of motherhood encapsulated in their shared struggle. Then I'll respect that, Jennifer replied, her voice firm now. But I can't walk away without trying. I need them to know I'm here. Silence enveloped them, the weight of their decisions looming larger than the cityscape outside the window. Angela's heart raced. Could there be a way for them to coexist? Would her daughters be willing to consider the impossible? As the mediator entered, both women felt the moment dissolve. The next step approached, but the conversation had shifted something. It sparked a glimmer of hope, but would it be enough to bridge their worlds? Angela closed her eyes for just a heartbeat, making a silent wish. Why couldn't this all be simpler? But life rarely gave easy choices. The path forward felt dark and uncertain. Just then, her phone buzzed an unsettling message. The screen lit up with a photo of Lila, a smile illuminating her round face. Below it read, "We missed you today, Mommy." Angela's resolve cracked as she glanced at Jennifer, who looked equally moved. Together, they battled different fears, fear of failure, fear of loss. Would they find a way to navigate through their new reality? And more importantly, could the love for their daughters be a common ground strong enough to heal their wounds? The meditation room felt even more constrained now, shadows stretching as sunlight filtered through the glass. Both Angela and Jennifer sat silently, the air heavy with the weight of decisions yet to be made. The mediator, a composed woman with sharp glasses, glanced between them, sensing the fragile heartbeat of their struggle. "Let us begin," she said, her voice calm but firm. "This is a safe space to express your feelings. You're both here for the same reason, your daughters." Angela took a deep breath, desperation curling in her chest. Mia and Lila need stability. They've been through enough already. Jennifer, do you really think you can just walk in after all this time? Jennifer's jaw clenched. I know it's not easy. I wish I could go back and do things differently. But I want to be their mother again, and I believe I can contribute positively to their lives. The mediator nodded, encouraging Jennifer to elaborate. What does that look like for you? Jennifer shifted in her seat, visibly wrestling with her emotions. It means being there for them, attending every important moment, whether it's soccer games or school plays. I want to support them in a way I failed to before. I want them to know I love them. Angela's heart twisted. Did she dare believe that? Could loving intentions heal the gaps? They lost you, Jennifer. It's not just about you wanting them now. It's about how they'll react to you wanting in. Angela struggled to keep her voice steady, frustration leaking into her words. I understand. But I don't want to just be the forgotten name in their history. I want to be here, in the present, for them. The mediator leaned forward, sensing the tension. What if we focused on a gradual approach? Perhaps you could start with small interactions, supervised visits? It may allow the girls to process their feelings. Angela's heartbeat quickened at the idea. Supervised visits sounded like a bite-sized approach to a mountain of uncertainty. What if they don't want to see you? She countered. Jennifer looked down, vulnerability flickering in her eyes. I'm prepared for that, but I need them to see me trying. We can't just jump back into a relationship, Angela said. It's not fair to them. They've been through so much. Silence enveloped the room once more. The mediator drew in a deep breath, looking at both women down the line. It's important to remember that healing takes time. Both of you want what's best for the girls, and that common ground is vital. Angela's mind raced. She wanted to shield her daughters from the risks of heartbreak, yet felt drawn to the possibility of Jennifer's return. Could that common ground create a bridge, or would it turn into an unstable path? Just then, Angela's phone buzzed again. Half expecting another picture of Lila, she saw a text instead. Please come home soon, Mommy. Mia is sad. The words felt like a punch to her gut. Before she could process, she found herself leaning forward, eyes wide. Mia is sad? She whispered, her heart sinking. She glanced at Jennifer, who appeared equally distressed. Maybe we should all meet together, the three of us, Jennifer suggested cautiously. It doesn't have to be anything formal. Just a chance for the girls to decide if they want to get to know me. Angela's breath caught. The vulnerable hope in Jennifer's eyes mirrored her own swirling fears and dreams. There it was, the tremor of possibility wrapped in uncertainty. Could they both face the reality of their choices together, fortified by the love of their daughters? As the mediator nodded thoughtfully, Angela felt the walls of her heart begin to crack open. What if they don't want that? What if this backfires? She murmured, the very foundation beneath her beginning to tremble. In that moment, a shared understanding of their fear hung between them, desperate yet hopeful. Would they dare take this leap together? Could the love they both had for Mia and Lila turn this fragile moment into a step toward healing? The mediator interjected softly, this is a turning point. It could lead to something unexpected. Sometimes the most profound connections arise from moments of vulnerability. What are you both willing to risk? Her question lingered in the air, heavy with potential. Would they be able to confront their fears and embrace the unknown together? The tension in the room shifted, swirling like leaves caught in a sudden gust. Angela stared down at her hands, fingers twisting nervously. The idea of meeting with Mia and Lila felt both terrifying and exhilarating. What if they rejected Jennifer? What would that do to her daughters? Jennifer's voice broke through her thoughts. I want to push them. I just want them to see that I care. Even if it's hard for them. A flicker of determination ignited in her eyes. Angela looked up, searching for sincerity in Jennifer's gaze. Maybe Jennifer felt real regret. Maybe there was a chance for something positive, despite the fear swirling around them like an unseen specter. It's easy to say that now, but how can I know it's not just words? Angela blurted, her voice laced with both anger and sorrow. You left, Jennifer. You didn't just step away, you disappeared. They need someone stable, someone trustworthy. I know, Jennifer whispered, her voice trembling. And I want to earn that back. Every day I think of the years I lost. I realize that actions speak louder than words. I'm ready to prove it to them. Silence followed her words, stretching out like a long, empty road. Angela studied Jennifer and felt a wave of sympathy despite herself. They had been through so much. The scars of the past weren't something either of them could erase, but the possibility of healing felt like a flicker of a candle in the dark. All right, Angela said slowly, a storm of emotions brewing within her. Let us meet. But only if the two of you are willing to approach this carefully. I want to allow my girls to be heard again. Jennifer nodded, her features softening with relief. I promise. I'll do anything to show them to be part of their lives. I just need a chance. As the mediator took notes, Angela's mind raced ahead. She envisioned Mia's smile, Lila's laughter, the way their little hands clung to her own. What if they could heal together? What if Jennifer's return was a new beginning instead of a threat? An initial meeting, what would that look like? Angela asked, her voice cracking with tension. What if they don't recognize you? What if they run away from you? Then we'll start there, Jennifer replied, her resolve unwavering. If they need time, I can wait. I just want them to know I'm here. The mediator cautiously interjected, setting the groundwork is vital. You might consider a neutral location, perhaps a park. Somewhere familiar for the girls. This could help create an inviting space. Angela's heart thudded in her chest. A park, the same park where she took them for picnics. Memories washed over her, a blend of joy and heartbreak. Would it be the right step for them? But before she could respond, the mediator's phone buzzed on the table, disrupting the moment. She picked it up, glancing at the screen with a frown. I'm afraid I have to take this. As she stepped into the hallway, a flood of emotions surged within Angela. Hope, fear, despair, it all churned together like a storm ready to break. What if they decide they don't want to see you? Angela murmured, her heart racing again at the thought. What then? I'll accept it, Jennifer replied softly, the truth evident in her voice. But I have to try, Angela. For them to show them that love can still exist, even after so much hurt. At that moment, Angela noticed a shift in her own heart. Could it be possible that Jennifer's presence might herald healing instead of more heartache? Could this fragile thread of hope grow into something solid? The mediator returned, sensing the tension still hanging in the air. We need to establish the details for this meeting, for Mia and Lila's well-being. Angela's heartbeat seemed to echo through the silence. She nodded, feeling the weight of the moment. Perhaps this was the first real step toward recovery, an unexpected turn in their complicated narrative. But as they began discussing the logistics, a new message chimed in Angela's hands. She glanced at it, her breath catching once more. It was from Mia. Are you coming home soon? I miss you and I'm scared. The urgency of those words hit like a punch. How could she balance this delicate arrangement with Jennifer while ensuring her daughters felt safe and loved? The fear of letting them down gnawed at her insides. Angela looked up at Jennifer, who was watching her with earnest eyes. Could she trust her? In the throbbing silence, the decision loomed large, weighted with potential. Was she really prepared to give Jennifer a chance? And if Mia and Lila were willing to embrace this new chapter, would Angela be brave enough to face the monsters of the past while nurturing the hope of an uncertain future? Angela's heart raced, a turbulent mix of fear and hope pressing against her chest. The weight of Mia's message lingered, wrapping her in an anxious cocoon. She glanced back at Jennifer, whose expression was a blend of anxiety and anticipation. The woman she had once known stood before her, not as the person who had walked away but as someone desperate to reconnect. Do you think they'll ever want to talk to you? Angela asked, her voice barely rising above a whisper. Jennifer looked thoughtful, her brow furrowing as she considered the question. I hope so. I know I hurt them. I can't change the past, but I can at least try to show them that I'm different now. But what if you're different isn't enough? Angela shot back, the protective instinct for her daughters surfacing again. What if they look at you and only see the woman who left them? I understand that fear. Jennifer's voice dipped, her vulnerability apparent. But I pray they see a mother who is trying to come back, a mother who loves them, flawed as I may be. I need to give them that space, no matter how long it takes. Angela's chest tightened with uncertainty, yet beneath all her fears, a part of her wondered if this was what healing could look like. The mediator's voice pulled her back to the moment. Let us discuss how to introduce Jennifer. It can't be rushed. First impressions matter, especially with children. Angela nodded, thankful for the guidance, yet dread hovered just beneath the surface. Meeting at the park felt daunting but also familiar, the leafy canopies overhead coupled with laughter echoing from swings. Will you be there? The first meeting? Angela asked suddenly, her gaze piercing through the room to rest on Jennifer. I wouldn't miss it for the world, Jennifer replied, fierce conviction lacing her words. Angela could see the twinkle of genuine desire to reunite, but the shadows of doubt still lingered. As they set a date, giving life to the plan, Angela's thoughts spiraled. She envisioned Mia clutching her stuffed bunny while Lila, shy yet curious, would likely tug at her dress, both girls caught between familiar warmth and newfound uncertainty. What should she say? How could she prepare them for something so monumental? Her phone buzzed again, pulling her from her spiraling thoughts. It was Mia again. Where are you? The text read, simple and full of a child's unfiltered perplexity. Angela felt her heart clench. I need to go home, she said suddenly, startling both Jennifer and the mediator. I need to see the girls. Now? Jennifer asked, astonished, her eyes wide. Yes, Angela confirmed, urgency spilling from her. I don't want them to feel abandoned. I want to reassure them. I can't stand to think they're waiting for me. As she stood, an underlying resolve washed over her. Angela, the mediator said tentatively, those feelings are understandable, but remember, preparing the girls for this meeting requires thoughtfulness. It's not something you can rush. We can talk more later, Angela replied, brushing aside the mediator's concerns. She couldn't waste another minute. As she slipped out of the office, she felt the cool air envelop her like a reassuring hug. The streets buzzed with life, but her thoughts were on her daughters. Driving home, every stoplight felt like an eternity, each hesitation a battle against her racing heart. The moment she stepped inside her house, the familiar sight of the worn couch and pictures of her daughters accompanied by laughter gripped her. Mia? Lila? She called, the echo of her own voice intensifying her urgency. Then she heard a small voice from upstairs, Mom? Pain and joy collided within Angela. She rushed up the stairs, her palms sweating, heart pounding. The door to her daughter's room was slightly ajar. Taking a deep breath, she pushed it open, ready to face whatever awaited her, but as she entered, the room held an unexpected silence, and the shadows hung heavy with the unknown. What if they need me too much? Whispered a voice in the back of her mind, the fear creeping back in. She stood there, breath caught in her throat, waiting for Mia and Lila to react. What would their response be? Just then, Mia appeared, her little eyes wide with surprise. Mom? Is it really you? Before answering, Angela felt a rush of conflicting emotions surge through her, and for one fleeting moment, she wondered if this was just the beginning of everything unraveling. Would this be a reunion that brought light, or would it reveal cracks that ran deeper than she knew? Angela's heart threatened to burst as she met Mia's wide-eyed gaze. The innocence and surprise in her daughter's expression tumbled through her like a wave of warmth, yet the trepidation remained like a shadow lurking just behind. She wanted nothing more than to scoop Mia into her arms, to assure her that she was back for good, but part of her hesitated. What if there was too much pain woven into that embrace? Mom? Mia repeated, her voice a soft thread against the silence. Angela stepped forward, swallowing hard. Yes, sweetie, it's really me. The words rolled out, but they felt heavy with everything left unsaid. Mia's eyes shimmered with something between disbelief and yearning. She took a cautious step towards Angela, her tiny hand reaching out, then hesitated, unsure of the barriers that had grown between them. Where have you been? Mia's voice trembled, the innocence of the question cutting through Angela's resolve. Angela's voice cracked under the weight of the truth. I've been trying to make things better, to find a way back to you and Lila. A moment passed, thick with tension and unresolved hurt. Lila appeared in the doorway, her expression a mix of curiosity and caution. Mom? She echoed, voice small, her fingers twisting the hem of her shirt nervously. Angela's breath hitched at the sight of her younger daughter. Time had changed them both in ways she could hardly fathom. Lila, honey, it's me, she said, her voice finding strength amid the storm of emotions. I'm here. Mia's hand finally reached out, and Angela knelt down, closing the distance. She wrapped her arms around her daughter, feeling the warmth of her small body sink into the hug. There was a heartbeat where the world felt right, but it was fleeting. Mia's body stiffened, as if caught in turmoil. Mama, are you here to stay? She asked, the question hanging in the air like a fragile promise. Angela pulled back slightly to meet Mia's gaze. I want to be. Her voice trembled, guiding the girls back into a moment of connection. I want to make things right. But why weren't you here before? Lila chimed in, her wide eyes brimming with unspoken feelings. Angela felt something break inside her, the chasm of their absence tore deeper into her heart. I made mistakes, she confessed, vulnerability raw and exposed flooding her voice. Mistakes that hurt you. But I'm trying to change. Silence enveloped the room again, heavy with unmet expectations. The words were out there, but did her daughters feel the sincerity behind them? Mia shifted, her brow furrowing in confusion. Do you mean, like, you're not leaving again? Angela felt tears stinging her eyes. No, Mia. I'm not leaving again. Lila's gaze darted between her sister and their mom, the question weighing heavily on her little shoulders. Promise? Promise. The words slipped from Angela's lips, a fragile yet resolute vow stamped with the force of her heart. But then Mia stepped back slightly, a newfound uncertainty crossing her face. But you didn't come back before. What makes this time different? Angela's heart tensed. She could feel the walls around her daughters starting to rise, protective barriers built from memories of hurt. Because she stuttered, because I know what I lost. I know what you both mean to me. I can't change the past, but I want to be here for the future. Mia bit her lip, her little hands fidgeting. Lila glanced at her sister, and Angela sensed the weight of mistrust hanging thick in the air. She felt it too, an echo of regret and heartache left unaddressed. Just then, the door creaked open wider. Jennifer stood at the threshold, her eyes wide with concern. Is everything okay in here? She asked, her smile faltering as she took in the scene. Angela's heart sank. Jennifer's presence felt like a flashback, an inconvenient reminder of everything tangled in their lives. How could she face her daughters when the woman trying to mend what was broken was right there? Mia, Lila, there's someone else I want you to meet, Angela said. Would they be open to Jennifer? Would they even want to know her after everything she had done? Mia's forehead scrunched in confusion. Who? Angela's heart pounded anew. Your grandmother. As a wave of emotion rolled over her daughters, Angela braced herself, knowing that this moment would shape their future. Would they embrace this unexpected connection, or would it drive them further apart? The moment was poised on the brink, and everything hung in the balance. Angela's voice hung in the air, the weight of her revelation thick and heavy. Mia's confusion deepened, her young mind spinning at the thought of a grandmother she'd never known. Lila's lips trembled, uncertainty dancing in her wide eyes. Your grandmother? Mia echoed, her small voice a whisper, as if she were testing the sound, searching for the meaning behind it. Angela nodded slowly, feeling the tremors of fear ripple through her daughters. Jennifer stepped into the room, her soft gaze shifting from Angela to the girls. Anxiety radiated off her as she tried to glean their reactions, but all she could offer was a tentative smile. Hi, girls. I know this is unexpected, she began, but her words fell flat, muffled by the tension that hung like a heavy fog. Why didn't you tell us? Lila blurted, her eyebrows knitting in defiance. Angela could see the flicker of anger surfacing within her smallest daughter, a spark fueled by years of secrets and choices made without their knowledge. Jennifer shifted uncomfortably, her hands knotted together. I didn't want to hurt you, she said softly, vulnerability flashing across her face. I wasn't sure if you would want to know me. But Mom. Mia paused, darting a glance at Angela. You didn't want us to know her? The question pierced Angela's heart, sending ripples of guilt through her. I didn't want to bring more confusion into your lives, she said, her voice trembling. I thought it would be best to protect you from the past. Protect us? Or protect yourself? Lila's challenge was fierce, her small body tensing as she stood her ground. Angela felt a lump forming in her throat. How had it come to this? Angela started, but Mia interrupted, stepping forward with a brave, uncertain energy. Wait. Can we just sit down and talk? Angela's heart swelled at Mia's instinct for mediation, even in the midst of their chaos. Yeah, let us sit down together, she agreed softly, leading them towards the living room, where the light streamed in through the large windows, casting soft shadows on the floor. They settled onto the couch, each of them finding their own space. Angela drew in a deep breath, her hands shaking as she held onto her daughter's warmth, determined not to let go too easily this time. Jennifer took a seat across from them, her expression earnest yet fragile. I know you both have a lot of questions, and I'll do my best to answer them. But more than anything, I want to be here for you. Mia looked from Angela to Jennifer, chewing on her lip as she pondered. Do you love us? She asked directly. The question hung in the air, raw and powerful. Of course I do, Jennifer replied, her voice thick with emotion. Even though I wasn't there, my love for you never left. I've always cared about your happiness. Lila looked skeptical, her brows knotted in thought, but Angela could feel a softness beginning to bloom in the air, tiny moments of understanding breaking through their shield of hurt. Just loving us isn't enough, you know, she said quietly, her voice gaining strength. I know, Jennifer said, meeting Lila's gaze squarely. I want to prove it to you, but I need the chance. Angela watched her children contemplate, their expressions a mixture of hope and doubt. The air felt charged with possibility, yet so easily could it shatter, sending them spiraling back into silence. All they had to do was take that leap, but would they? Mom, Mia said softly, can you promise us that we will always be a family, no matter what? Angela's heart soared and sank simultaneously. What a heavy promise to make. Could she assure them of their future without knowing all the answers herself? I promise, she said, her voice firm yet gentle. I will fight for our family. Always. The silence that followed crackled with new energy. It was a moment of resolve, but uncertainty still loomed, whispering doubts to each of them. Does that include Grandma? Lila asked softly, a hint of hope starting to blossom in her voice. Angela glanced toward Jennifer and felt her gut twist. They had all come so far, but the pathway ahead still felt like a tightrope walk across an abyss. Would they really connect, or would history repeat itself, breaking apart what little had been rebuilt? As the question lingered, Angela took a deep breath, readying herself for the storm of emotions brewing ahead. The journey had just begun, but she could sense that the hardest battles were yet to come. The floor beneath their feet felt precarious, each step forward an invitation for the past to spring back. Let us take it one step at a time, Angela whispered, her voice a mix of hope and dread. But deep down, she knew they were all in a fight. As the evening sun streamed through the window, illuminating their new beginnings, she realized they had something worth holding onto if they chose to believe. Would they be able to face the shadows together, or would this fragile bond collapse under the weight of unhealed scars? Angela's pulse quickened at the thought, and she steeled herself for the challenge of their fractured journey ahead. The afternoon light draped lazily across the room, casting a warm glow that felt somehow at odds with the tension crackling just beneath the surface. Angela sat back, studying the stillness of her children, each lost in thought. Lila's defiance was simmering, her small fists clenched in her lap. Mia, however, wore a mask of quiet contemplation, her brows slightly furrowed as if she were trying to slot pieces of an unseen puzzle into place. Mom? Lila's voice broke the silence, sharp and raw. What do we even know about her? Your mom. Our grandmother? That question hung in the air, heavy and uncertain. Angela felt her stomach drop. How could she explain a history that had held such a complex place in her heart, a blend of love and pain? Not much, she admitted, her words barely above a whisper. Just that it was complicated for a long time. There was hurt, disappointment. But I understand she's changed. She wants to be there for you. Mia shifted closer to Lila, their shoulders touching like a bridge slowly trying to span a chasm. Is she nice? Does she even like us? The innocent curiosity in her voice held a weight that Angela wished she could lighten. I hope so, Jennifer interjected, her tone earnest. I know I haven't shown it till now, but I want to build a relationship with you. Your grandmother, she's been through a lot. I believe she wants to make things right, too. Lila rolled her eyes. But she has to earn it, right? We can't just trust her because she says she loves us. Angela's heart clenched at her daughter's fierce protectiveness. She couldn't blame her for wanting walls up. Those walls were built from years of silence and hurt, each brick lined with unexpressed fears. I get it, Lila, Angela said, as her voice softened. Trust takes time, and you have every right to feel how you do. I wish I could take all the pain away. As Angela met her daughter's gaze, she felt something shift. It was like seeing the tiniest flicker of understanding in a storm. They were all figuring this out together. What if she's not who we think? Mia whispered, her brow furrowed again. What if she hurts us? The thought landed heavily in the air. Angela could feel the anxiety swirling in the room, real and unrelenting. That essay risk we'll have to decide together, and we'll face it as a family, Angela said, squeezing Mia's hand. You both have every right to voice your fears. They matter. Lila's expression softened a fraction, her defenses wavering. But, Mom, what if you can't protect us from her? Angela swallowed hard. The question struck deeper than she wanted to admit. I think being part of a family means letting ourselves feel vulnerable. It means trusting, even when it's scary. The room fell silent again, but this time, the weight was different. There was a shared understanding, the reality that they had to face the future together, wounds and all. Mia finally broke the moment, a glimmer of hope sparking in her eyes. We can start slow, right? Like maybe a phone call first. A soft smile touched Angela's lips. That sounds like a great idea. One step at a time. Lila nodded slowly, the tension in her shoulders easing just a fraction. Yeah, if we don't like it, we can stop. Together. Together, Angela echoed, the word filling her with warmth. But as they all sat there in that moment of connection, the shadows of the past loomed larger than ever. Would their leap of faith bring them closer to the family they yearned for, or would it open old wounds that were better left bandaged? Angela's heart pumped in anticipation. They had decided to take a step forward, but a daunting question hung over them like an impending storm. What would happen when they confronted the truth? With that question echoing in their hearts, they all breathed a little deeper, aware that the next move could change everything. The day of the meeting felt electric. Angela paced nervously in their living room as the sunlight shone brightly through the window, catching moments of dust dancing in the air. Mia and Lila fidgeted nearby, making it clear they shared in her apprehension. Mama, what if it's weird? Mia asked, her worry wrapping around her like a heavy blanket. Angela knelt down to meet her gaze. It's okay to feel that way. It's new for all of us. But we can do this together. She took a deep breath, hoping to inspire confidence in her daughters. We all want to see what a future might look like. Lila chewed her lip, eyes darting toward the door. But what if Grandma doesn't like us? Angela felt her heart ache for her child's fears. Trust is a process, sweetie. We'll have to be brave. If things feel off, we can leave. But let us give her a chance. Together, they set off to the park, a neutral place that had once held blissful laughter and playful moments. Upon arrival, the expansive green lawn welcomed them with its familiarity, a stark contrast to the tension coiling around their hearts. Moments later, Jennifer arrived, her figure both frail and determined under the radiance of the sun. The sight of her sent tremors through Angela's body. She was the embodiment of change, whether for better or worse still loomed in the air. Mama, is that her? Lila asked, gripping Angela's hand tightly. Yes, it is, Angela whispered, feeling the weight of the moment rest upon her. Jennifer approached with cautious optimism, her smile bright yet fragile. Hi, everyone, she said, her voice soft and approachable. Hi, the girls mumbled in unison, their eyes wide with uncertainty. Angela took a brave step forward. Thank you for coming, Jennifer. We're ready to talk. The nerves flickered in the air like static. I'm glad, Jennifer replied, scanning the trio with a nervous gaze. As they settled on a picnic blanket, the initial silence wrapped around them like a cloak. Angela's heart thudded, but she reminded herself this wasn't just about her. It was about the girls. Can we ask questions? Mia piped up, her voice gaining strength. Of course, Jennifer nodded earnestly. Why did you leave? Mia's question pierced through the tension. Angela felt the depth of uncertainty as she waited for Jennifer's response. Jennifer swallowed, her expression clouded but genuine. I thought success would bring happiness. I was wrong. I made a lot of choices without understanding what really mattered. Like our birthdays? Lila ventured, her tone hauntingly innocent. Tears welled up in Jennifer's eyes. I know I missed many important moments I took for granted. I'm so sorry. Angela watched her girls, searching for signs of softening hearts. Mia and Lila exchanged glances, wrestling with their thoughts. Do you love us? Lila asked softly, her voice quivering. More than anything, Jennifer answered, sincerity drenching her tone. Mia furrowed her brow. How do we know you're not just saying that? Angela wanted to shield them from the hurt but realized trust had to be earned. That's fair, she added, responding to Jennifer's question too. Change takes time, and words alone aren't enough, right, girls? They both nodded, and Jennifer's gaze shifted from them to Angela, searching her eyes for support. Let's take it one day at a time, Angela proposed gently. Being family is a journey, and we'll need to walk it together. Together, Mia repeated, a flicker of hope crossing her face. Jennifer brightened at their acceptance, heart pounding with anticipation. I want to be there for both of you. If you're willing, we can start with small steps. Lila glanced at Angela, her defenses easing just a fraction. What if we try talking first? Like, maybe sharing stories about you? Jennifer nodded vigorously. I'd love that. Anything you want to know, I'm here to open up. The next moments unfolded like a gentle wave, full of questions that gradually dismantled trepidations and uncertainties. The girls learned about their grandmother's favorite books, her childhood memories, and a sense of playfulness that began to fill the space between them. As laughter began to escape, Angela found her heart softening, too. Do you have a favorite color? Lila asked, her cheeks glowing. Green because it reminds me of new beginnings, Jennifer replied, sharing a spark of excitement that felt palpable, and suddenly, the conversation shifted from cautious exchanges to vibrant inquiries. Before long, it felt less like a meeting and more like piecing together a puzzle that had been long lost. This connection, their choices to face difficult truths with honesty, felt transformative. Angela squeezed Mia's hand, grateful to witness this shift. As the sun began to dip behind the trees, they huddled closer, the four of them now woven together by a tapestry of stitched hearts and burgeoning love. Maybe this one be so bad, Mia whispered to Lila, the softness in her words brightening the weight of the day. Angela balanced hope and uncertainty, her gaze lingering on Jennifer, who seemed determined to prove herself. Thank you for being honest, Angela said quietly, for being here today. With tentative smiles and a spark of something new, they all stood at the threshold of a new beginning, flight in their hearts, a blend of hope, fears still lurking, but the beautiful potential for healing and connection growing stronger by the minute. Together, they took those steps into the unknown, simultaneously fragile yet resilient, ready to face tomorrow and the journey still ahead. And as the sun finally dipped beneath the horizon, they knew one undeniable truth: family, like hope, could rise again, even from the deepest struggles. This is your moment to step into new beginnings. Subscribe immediately to the channel to not miss the next exclusive stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and help others find this journey. Comment how you felt about this transformation. Your thoughts and reactions mean so much. Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this hopeful journey. Don't wait not even one more second to support this channel. You need to be part of this amazing community.